heard it was terrible though.
Yeah.
The remake, but yeah, but we're also supposed to getting another remake of Day of the Dead coming out in a couple years, I believe.
I mean, I've
So
also heard besides the whole genre, there's like they had like a prom movie that was like a stupid comedy, like Day of the Dead, still funny, and then they had Cabin Fever. Has anyone seen Cabin Fever?
I have
Yeah.
seen the original, yes. I haven't
They
seen the remake.
they've had two of them that were good. They had one stupid one that was really funny as spook. Then they went to like, oh, let's go to the island where we're gonna do a cure. Oh no, we're gonna spread the virus. I'm like, okay, this got my attention that no one really gives a shit about the cure. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, I heard that they did. I've seen the first two Cabin Fevers, which I enjoyed. Well, I actually enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
I like the third
But
one.
with
It made me laugh.
the third one, I heard was pretty just like,
It was funny.
yeah. But I heard the remake was just so unwatchable from last year.
Now, I want to get into this topic. Bernie, you're in agreement with this. We've seen pretty much all the Resident Evil movies. Not the CGI ones, but the movies that were in theaters.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. They're remaking
Yeah.
Resident Evil. Forgot about that.
Trash, yeah. Do you think it's going to suck balls, or do you think they're going to do something right for once?
I don't care at this point. I mean, I will say, hold on, I will say, I called it right when the last movie came out. I was like, Resident Evil, what was it? The last,
Final
what?
chapter.
The final chapter. I'm like,
It's
final my
chapter,
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ain't gonna be
Oh,
a final.
my stance is as long as they make money,
Money,
they are
yeah.
not going to stop.
It's kind of like Transformers for me with Resident Evil. I mean,
Yeah.
they're never really that great, but they're good. There's something to go and see on a
Is that
Friday
movie
night.
out yet?
What?
New Transformers?
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
saw
it's
it
already
like
out.
Yeah, I saw it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like I said, they're never great, but they're good. There's something there's something to go see at the end of a Friday night.
With the last Resident Evil film, I'll be honest, like
I wasn't
I
impressed.
myself, I consider I actually enjoy some of the Resident Evil live action films because they're pure entertainment. But the
Oh,
problem
yeah.
but I felt like with that last one they did, that was basically giving me flashbacks to watching Saw the last one because they were trying to make it to where it was the last movie, but this movie actually makes it to where the other ones were pretty much pointless. So you can kind of
True.
tell this is where they need to reboot it because they didn't even end it properly.
I mean, I saw
Yeah.
Resident Evil Vendetta, the CGI movie. I liked it, but there were like some things like, okay, wait a minute. If you're next Star Wars movie, you should have a gun somewhere. Entertaining, like
Yeah.
shooting something. I mean,
That
was
animated-
awesome.
That animated film, the physics in that movie were just what kind of threw me off from it. I'm like, they're just running around each other shooting, and neither
Yeah.
one of them is hitting either one. Then the girl with the railgun misses. Like, how? You're a
Infinite
trained.
ammo! And then you get to fight
I'm
the
like-
boss, you reload.
And then he freaking drives the freaking bike off the. I'm not even getting into that. But I will say, I mean, here's what I hope that remake does have. One, I hope it follows a different storyline entirely. Two, I hope that it's not the same director because I mean, at the end of not the one that not Vendetta, not Vendetta, not the final chapter, the one before that, we see them standing on the White House surrounded by hordes of zombies,
Where's that
monsters.
scene?
Yeah, where was that battle? I would have rather seen an hour of them fighting all of that than the entire final chapter movie.
Yeah, definitely. That's what pissed me off about Final Chapter was every time they set up one of these Resident Evil films, they always cut out characters from previous movies.
Like, where's
Exactly.
Leon? Where's
Yeah.
Ada? I
Like,
mean,
the
you
new
killed
one should
Barry,
follow.
you bastards.
Yeah, the new one should follow more of the actual Resident Evil story instead of having this alternative take. I think people would enjoy more of that than anything.
Yeah, and plus with the reboot, it seems like, or it would probably be one of those situations where if they end up rebooting it, they probably, just hypothetically, they probably wouldn't even learn anything because they've actually, as far as video game films, they've actually rebooted movies before, such as Hitman. They actually made two of those movies, and both of them sucked.
Just like Blade.
Okay, well, and it's technically not a remake movie, but it is technically a reboot. I don't know how many of you actually watched Death Note, but we're getting a Death
I
Note
read
series.
it. I might want to see it.
I don't know, it's like an Americanization version of it, so it's not actually going to be like there was originally the manga, then there was the anime, then there was the movie, the live action movie, and now we're getting an American live action movie. No, an American live action series of it. I think it looks pretty cool, honestly.
We have Castlevania on Netflix
I'm going to be
now.
positive about it. I'm looking forward to it. I try to look at the positive side,
So
unless
this
there's
is
like
backed up.
no do that.
I'm not really too familiar with it, but it seems interesting though.
Oh yeah, the concept of writing someone's name in a book and then they die 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
So, back to the original question, do we think that remakes are killing the industry?
I don't know. I don't think anything truly kills it until it doesn't make money.
I
But
feel like
I look at film now. Now that I've been like helping co-produce one, and finding investors and stuff. And at the end of the day, as long as they see green, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
I feel like that with reboots that are coming out, especially remakes, I am starting to notice more that, well, at least with some examples of recent ones, that they are not doing as profitable at the box office like they used to. Like,
Yep.
for example, earlier this year we had reboots of Baywatch and and I think there was
Mommy.
something else, but I know,
Mommy.
and even last year when we had Ghostbusters, like I noticed that reboots nowadays they don't tend to make as much as what they think as much like they used to.
Yeah, I don't
What
think
you're saying,
it's
from your
like-
point of view, are people going to enjoy it? Or are they going to watch it?
That's what I'm saying. I feel
Because
like
like you said, they want to make money. And if you're not making
you know
money,
what
yeah.
Sorry.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Well, I mean, a reboot right now is a safe bet, and that's what a lot of things are. They want a safe bet that they know they're at least going to make something off of what they invest into. But I mean, you've got movies like one of which was The Mummy. Me and Rose, we both went to go see that, and we could see that they're setting up for something. But compared to the originals, the story that they followed, it wasn't there.
You know,
Yeah.
here's what my stance is. I gotta get this out of my head real fast.
Go ahead.
Is like I see a lot of people doing quote unquote remakes, but they're trying to not make it like the original. I feel like some fans of the originals have a hard time. Like, I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because it's like a lot of these remakes, they're trying to make it a little different. Like with the Mummy thing, totally kind of different, and like this Jumanji thing gonna be different. And like I feel like the people that are nostalgic about it, are like they're so caught up in the original. It's like the Halo series. It's like why people hate the new Halos versus the original Halos. It's like that. But it's like I feel like even if they kept to the story, people would hate it because they're like, oh, the cast isn't good. Blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be Robin Williams. Blah, blah, blah. Like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, damn right.
So I feel like it's kind of a fine line.
Yeah, and that's basically that. Yeah, that's actually a true point
But I think
because
they'll make money because it's nostalgic for people. People are going to want to see it anyways, even if they hate it, because then they'll still make the money because they saw it.
See,
Kind of thing.
I mean that's
I wanted to go see The Mummy, but it had Tom Cruise in it. But throughout that movie, confused. Why did they have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? But when the movie was over, I remembered one quote from a different movie. It takes a monster to defeat a monster. So like, wait a minute, are they hiding that they're going to say they're going to remake The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen a really good ass movie? I'm like, no.
that's what it felt like because if anything, they made it to where Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll is just going to be basically the Nick Fury for every film, where he just establishes other monsters. Which basically, in terms of that, you're doing less of setting up a franchise and more ripping off of other
You gotta
properties.
get the Invisible Man, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. I mean, you gotta get the whole freaking monster cast. We're gonna make that.
Yeah, but there
I
would
don't
have
think
been
they
a
developed,
much
like, the
better way of
character
dealing with
enough.
that.
Like
yeah,
I knew it was like Jekyll and Hyde, but I was like that was kind of unnecessary. Like you didn't need to put that in there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have affected me differently. You know what I mean?
Well,
I feel
that's
like
what I'm,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's got a good concept. It's just like on paper, you can set up this whole universe. It's just that the fact that they were kind of rushing all of that in the Mummy is where
they
they
didn't
failed
give
to
it
make
enough
it as a standalone movie.
Yeah.
Have any of y'all seen the Final Destination movies?
Yep,
Oh,
all 5 of them.
Yeah.
I think there was a 6, but I don't remember. It's been a while.
No, there's only 5.
Have you noticed, like, just like with the Saw movies, they're great, but they always have like this, like, they don't still like a quote, but there's always something like, you can't outrun death. Death will follow you. If you try to outrun death, it will find you.
Unless
That's
you're
why
Barry
my-
Allen.
Huh?
Unless you're Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Look at the timeline, Barry.
God damn it, the timeline.
Well, and the funny thing is
Well, I
about the
watched
Final
fourth
Destination.
one. This guy tried to outrun. It's like he got hit by a bus.
Uh,
Yeah, and
And
that's
I
the
thought it was
funny
a dream,
thing.
then he still got hit by the bus. I'm like, bravo, double whammy. He still died.
I felt like that was the worst one. Was the fourth one?
Really?
Yeah, because that one was.
I think it was the third movie because they had that jackass that got hit by the drive-through. I'm like, thank God they killed that asshole.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Serves you right.
But no, they said that they're actually planning on doing another Final Destination. They just haven't like set up any script ideas for it yet, though.
I was shocked because I read this online yesterday. I think they're in production. Like they're making right now another Saw movie. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't you kill that old man off in the last one, or did he pass the torch to someone else?
Dum dum
Yeah, so
dum.
it's like I'm confused.
Okay, that Saw film coming out is actually coming out in October,
Really?
and yes, it's called Saw Legacy. And guess what? They're actually, and this is for those of you who haven't seen the last movie,
My dad loves
basically
the Saw movies.
they're making the last one seem like it didn't even exist.
Damn.
So basically, we're going to get unresolved questions that don't even happen.
So it's basically a big middle finger to the audience.
It's more like because they're saying that some of the characters in the other films are basically dead. So it's like,
duh.
okay, so what the hell is the point of doing a sequel?
It's like they're okay. Have y'all seen the Chucky movies?
Yeah.
Yep.
It goes to good to what? Okay, funny. Then what the fuck? And then it goes to let's look at the backstory. Okay, that's great. They're making a last one, and they actually got the original actor from the first two movies.
Yeah, I saw that trailer. It was actually, I'm actually
I
kind of
was
looking
excited.
to it.
But he's in the same. It sounds like no one believes that Chucky's alive. It's like, yeah, he's the only doll, and you're all locked up. You're not gonna say he's not the fucking killer because the doctor's dead. I saw that trailer. I'm like, wow, nice kill scene.
But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that one because I actually enjoyed Curse, the one before that. Because believe it or not, the worst one was actually, to me, I felt like Seed was the worst one. So I'm on board with them going back to like the original first movie where they're keeping it more straightforward instead of adding all the comedy into it.
Man, I know
Yeah.
I've been talking about horror. Man, I'm Mr. Horror.
Oh man, dude, that's like a pet peeve of mine is when they try to force comedy into a movie.
Yeah, especially in a
not
lot of
even-
reboots we get.
So it cringes me so much. And my thing is like I just don't understand when people are like going back and they're like going through the editing of it and watching it and they're like, yeah, this was good. This was a good
Let's
idea.
add that in there. They'll love it.
It's so cringy.
I know I've been talking about horror movies and what's to come this year. Anyone know about any action reboot movies or classic reboot movies that suck dick?
That's the thing though, is like a lot of reboots tend to be horror movies. Isn't that interesting?
Well,
Yeah,
someone-
we've had some
actually,
action
I did
films
remember
that have been
someone actually
reboots.
told me to put this on the podcast. The RoboCop movie.
Oh
I
yeah.
enjoyed it
remember
because
that.
I watched RoboCop once, and this was actually he was going around killing people, so win-win for me.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
saw.
pretty good one.
I didn't mind the RoboCop remake when it came out, but it was just one of those that it was just more. It came and went,
Kind of like it's forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about it until you mentioned it right now. So
Yeah.
Someone
It
messaged
kind of
me,
falls
he's like,
in.
Do the RoboCop thing. I'm like, oh yeah. I
it's like
forgot
one of
about
those that I'll see like one time and I'll be good.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Kind of falls. It falls in that same category with like Transformers and Resident Evil.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good to go see, but then it's kind of like eh.
You think
Yeah.
they're gonna make another? Do they have another Transformers already like in the works?
They have like three
They-
more planned.
they have
Yeah.
they have that Bumblebee spinoff coming out.
Oh, that's
and-
gonna look awesome.
Eh,
And
I
they're
love
getting
Bumblebee.
yeah.
eh.
But as far as like good reboots that any of you guys have seen, like what do you think has probably been like at least a good reboot?
Hmm.
Shit. I know there are some. I just gotta think about it for a second.
Yeah.
Bad ones.
I I mean, as far as like not necessarily reboots, but well, actually no, I can name a couple.
If you can count Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man was
Well,
kick-ass.
yeah, that's true.
They
Okay.
improved. What did you guys think about the Andrew Garfield ones? Because I know everyone's
liked it.
like everyone's.
I
different.
enjoyed them. I mean, I
I-
liked them.
I liked the first one. All
I
right,
liked
I
him,
didn't
but
mind it.
he wasn't Peter Parker to me. But I did
No,
like.
I
was-
felt like he was a
he-
good Peter Parker, but not really a good Spider-Man.
See, it was the opposite for me. I thought he was a good Spider-Man, but I didn't think he was a good Peter Parker. Because
Yeah,
I mean, when he was Spider-Man, he had more jokes, more humor, kind of like what we've always seen in the comics as well as the cartoons. But when who was the first guy? What was his
Tobey
name?
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. When he was Spider-Man, he never really had any jokes.
Because he
Like
sucks.
Spidey's well, he didn't suck, but
He was
I mean-
just bitchy. He was just a little bitch.
Thank you. Someone said it.
He was like he got all emo and sad in the
I'm
last
sad.
one.
Mary Jane doesn't
That was
love
the
me
third
enough.
movie, though.
Oh yeah, the
I got
third
one.
movie was
I
just
got
a
one.
hellhole.
All right, technically it's not well, it is a reboot, but it's not directly. All right, Batman v Superman is one of the first where we see Batman
Well,
actually.
what did you think about that? That's I
I
many
have the
mixed.
poster in my room, so I like Batman. Fuck Superman.
You like
all right,
that?
all right, Batfleck versus the guy who was Batman before him.
I like Christian Bale better, but like even Christian Bale's like Batman voice bugged me.
I
I
didn't
don't know.
mind Christian Bale. Well, I didn't mind Ben Affleck as Batman because actually, to be honest, and I'm probably one of the minority, but maybe Ben Affleck as Batman so far is my favorite. But I do agree that Christian Bale is the best Bruce Wayne.
Yes, okay,
Yeah,
I
but
can
we
I can
never-
see that maybe.
We haven't really seen Batfleck in his solo self. Like we've seen him.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean he's been in Batman v Superman, a little bit of Wonder Woman. We're gonna see him in the Justice League, but there has not been a standalone yet.
I will
Probably for
hold
good
off.
reason.
I will hold off on my judgment until they do that.
Yeah.
I got a remake. Wrong Turn. Has anyone seen that?
Wrong
haven't
Turn
seen it,
hasn't
but I
had
know
a
what you're
remake.
talking
They
about.
haven't. Someone said that it was a remake, or it was, I think must
No.
another movie.
If anything, it was more of a it was either taking inspiration, I think, from Hills Have Eyes, if anything.
Okay, see, that's why I have you guys. I can't remember all the movies that I've watched back in the day because I've seen Wrong Turn. I've seen When Evil Calls, which was a hilarious Scottish movie. Because you got to be careful what you wish for. I like movies like those. Like, hey, I warned you to be careful what you wish for because karma's a bitch.
Yeah. As far as like good reboots, though, I think that one of the best ones I've seen recently, at least that's been coming out consistently with its sequels, is the new Apes movies, like Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of those movies because, well, that's just me.
I actually didn't mind the first one too much. I didn't mind it. It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a new one coming out with War of the Planet of the Apes, which,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
what I've been hearing,
Kinda,
is
I'm kind of interested to see that. But
Well, that was more of a prequel than anything else, though.
yeah, but since it's in like a different timeline, so to speak, they consider it as more of a reboot with
Well,
within the
that's
original
fair.
films.
That's fair.
It's the same thing with the Star Trek movies, the newer ones. Even though technically,
that's a good point.
you could say that's both a prequel and a reboot, or I'm sorry, a sequel and a reboot, because they also mess with the timeline. So
That's a good question, though. What about the Star Trek movies? They're
they're technically
I like
reboots,
the
but at the
new
same
ones.
time, they're
we can
more
talk about the Star
like
Wars
both.
movies too. But the Star Wars movies are more of just like continuing on, and
Yeah.
I think everyone likes them, so we shouldn't even talk about that.
You know, since we're doing reboots, how about I'll move towards top 5 worst movies ever made.
Oh.
I'm
Well.
gonna start with one, and y'all probably gonna be Dragon Ball Z. I
Yeah. Yeah, that one's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
said.
was about to say, Avatar: The Last Airbender is number one for me.
Is the worst.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at least Dragon Ball that it had his own little story going along.
It was bad.
Avatar just pretty much brutalized the entire story of that cartoon.
No, that was real shit.
What?
They're all bad.
I hope it ruined his acting career.
Oh yeah. You know what I heard that the guy who directed Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball,
Evolution.
whatever it was called, he said that he had never even seen a single episode or read a single manga.
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to
What do you guys think about the Hobbit movies then?
I like them.
I
Long
think
but
they're pretty good. I don't know. Here's the thing: is I get in arguments sometimes with people about it because I know Peter Jackson regrets rushing through them. Apparently, he had to rush through them for the studio to get them out. Like I guess he rushed the filming process.
Since you said Peter Jackson, what about Peter Jackson's King Kong? Not the Kong that I saw with.
I liked his better than the new one. Even though I love Samuel L. Jackson.
The one with Samuel Jackson, that was great. That was a great King Kong movie.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I liked it. I especially liked the Peter Jackson one. My only big issue I would have had with the Peter Jackson one was that the pacing was pretty slow in a lot of parts. But other than that, I still got into a lot of when they actually reach the island. It does get pretty good. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a really old movie called Birds. That movie's shit.
Ooh, wait, hold on. What? Birds was not that
I
bad.
hate that movie.
Man, what? It's an old
Talking about
movie.
the Alfred Hitchcock movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
a classic. That's a classic.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
that's one of the.
stupid.
I mean, if anything,
You know what
the
I
sequel
hate?
worse.
Actually, you know what? Here's what I hate. I really hate it. I had to sit through it several times. It's like considered one of the greatest movies ever made. It's oh fuck, motherfucker! I can't even remember what it is.
I'm about to hate you. I feel
Lawrence
like
of Arabia.
What?
You ever sit through
Lawrence.
Lawrence of Arabia?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Never do it. It's fucking horrible. it's considered like top 10 best movies ever. Really horrible.
Wow.
I've never seen it.
It's so bad. It's like 3 hours of dragged on shit that you don't even care about. It's about this art. It's a true story. It's about a guy who fought in like World War II in the desert during like in northern Africa with all like Rommel and all that shit. And he was a British officer, and it starts off and you see him riding a motorcycle, and it goes through his whole like war story about him surviving all this shit, and then he ends up dying on a motorcycle accident like so many years after the war, like a year after the war ends. He's like riding his motorcycle in the country, runs it off the roads, and dies. And I think the point is like he made it through all this shit, and like he dies in the most like common way or something. But it was like it's like I swear I was there for a day watching that movie. It was so long.
Well,
That I'll take my thing back about Birds. That movie is like the worst movie I've ever seen. I can at least give Birds the fact that it was kind of like unique and like the film style was.
I'll
give
one.
that.
Since I was just scrolling on Facebook and they were just talking about Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, that's. Pretty
to be honest, I haven't even finished that one. I got into about 40 minutes of it, and I got pretty
Even
bored
the
because
remake sucks.
Yeah, I don't like the remakes. I hate them. I actually hate both of them. Although,
I actually didn't mind the one from 2005. I thought it was entertaining, but I never.
The Silver Surfer one wasn't as good as the first one.
Right, but I never actually fully watched the Fan 4 Stick from 2015. I only watched about 40 minutes of it.
I couldn't even get myself to go watch it. I was just like, I'm not doing it.
Because, again, that's an example right there of a studio that just doesn't care about their property, and they just wanted to get out there to keep
They want that ROI, return on investment, man. That's what they're after.
And that's
what I'm telling you. That's what like people. I was like some of the producers we have on this. Like we're in meetings right now before we shoot this thing in October. It's like all talk about ROI, how much money we can make back, and like it's like really interesting.
Yeah. From what I heard, that is considered one of the most boring comic book films they've done in years. In fact, that movie really doesn't even really have any like action until like the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, what did you think? Did anybody go see Alien Covenant?
I did.
Yes.
I actually did. I didn't mind it, but I did prefer Prometheus.
I did too. I wish they had answered more questions. I didn't think it was bad.
It wasn't bad. It was a disappointing, but I think with the next one, they're probably gonna go in the right direction next time.
Yeah, I just hated how they waited till the end to like get the action in.
Bernie
Yeah,
had to
because that's
And like a lot of it's like sitting on the ship, and I'm like, hey, some of the
had to go, by
characters
the way,
were like
guys.
only there. I feel like some of the characters were only there so they could die. I didn't
Yep.
even get to
Yeah.
know. So it was like expendable.
I loved how that lady shot the gun and like missed every shot. I'm like, well, you fucked yourself up. You're dead.
The only thing that bugs me about those types of movies is they portray us in the future with all this advancement, and we're all fucking idiots when it comes to common sense.
well, not just that, but a lot of the death scenes you see coming a mile away because
Like the shower scene, I saw that come. I was like, well, they're dead.
That's what
Yeah.
you get for sinning.
Yeah, I mean, I love those shower scenes. I'm like, you're gonna die, and you don't even know where that thing is.
But I can't say it wasn't somewhat entertaining. So
Yeah, Burning's gone. He had to go. But, God damn this thing. Since we're talking about that, are y'all excited for anything to come out?
I am.
TV
I'm
shows?
excited for it coming out in September, and I'm actually reading the book of that. Actually, I'm in about 200 pages in, and as far as reboots, I mean, I can't really say I'm excited for any reboots coming out, but
I was talking about TV shows, man.
well, in TV shows,
What load up dub? July 30th, bitches. I'm Pickle Rick.
I think Game of Thrones will be good.
Yeah, I haven't really. I need to catch up on a lot of TV shows because I feel like I've been missing out on a lot of them, especially Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you have to catch up on that, otherwise you'll not know what's going on.
Winter's coming. The dragons are coming. Oh, they're coming.
No, but I mean, there's other movies coming out. It's just, I'm just keeping a list of it because the ones I'm excited the most with is Justice League,
League,
and Thor Ragnarok as well.
Oh god,
that
I forgot
looks
about
really
Thor.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, that's really like and of course Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not a Star Wars fan.
That's almost without saying.
Yeah, but I mean that's still months away. So I'm just gonna go with just an open mind.
I think that's the best way to be. I try to give every movie a chance unless I decide not to.
See, here's the thing about me in movies. One, everything's gotten expensive for me down here, and I'd rather go to like a discount. Like, oh, hey, this time it's cheap and I'll see movies. But half the time, I'm either working or I just want to be lazy and sit at home and do nothing.
Right.
Right.
Because,
That's how I am sometimes.
I'm broke after just getting surgery. And it's not surgery,
Yeah.
I was just getting work done, but still, I'm just like, here, take the money. And the thing is, they overcharge me $50. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Mm.
It's like, well, you lost me as a patient, so fuck you. But
Stick it to the man.
damn right.
But
to
give at least for like concluding with the ideas of reboots in general, I think that eventually in the future that Hollywood's probably going to finally realize that seeing how that most of these reboots that are coming out are probably not going to do as well as like they've been. I think they're going to notice that, and they're probably not going to make as many like they used to.
Yeah,
because a lot of because believe it or not, I think that we're starting to see a lot more mainstream moviegoers actually getting into some of the more like indie type movies that are coming out that are released in the theaters.
Yeah.
So I think reboots are going to probably still continue. It's just they're not going to make as many like they used to all the time because it seems like they're losing a market behind it.
Basically, it's like the flip of a coin right now. It's a 50-50. Yes, they're killing themselves, and they're doing all right, I guess.
Yeah. Now, it's not to say that some are not doing bad. There are still going to be some that can still be successful, especially, look at, Spider-Man and some of the other popular comic book franchises that are being reboots. But when it's other things that are coming out that are from older movies that people haven't remembered or anything, it's probably one of those examples. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get more remakes of other Patrick Swayze movies like Dirty Dancing or Point Break.
If you're going to do a reboot, don't reboot or don't make video game movies. They're going to suck. Doom sucked. Doom's a great game, but the movie was horrible.
But I can see, though, if they do a reboot of Doom, they could probably do the same direction like they did with that Hardcore Henry movie last year, where if you put the whole movie in first person, that would probably be at least interesting.
Right.
I mean, that's basically as close as you'll get to Doom. So, but yeah, at least for reboots, I feel like there's going to be some good ones that come out, but there's going to be some bad ones that are just unnecessary. That's what a lot of them just seem to be. They're stuff that you can always watch the originals for, and not even always have to even worry about a remake if it turns out bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan, any final words? Because I think we're out of time.
Man, I'm just like I'm very like two-sided on those. I'm excited for it. Like that's probably like one I'm really excited for as far as reboots go. I'm interested to see where the whole film industry goes now that there are so many different ways to make films and get it out there.
I mean, like a few years back, I go to Halloween Horror Nights and they do everything from movies. And here's the thing, I forgot to watch the Krampus.
Oh.
I loved that house for a reason. You go into the kitchen and you feel like darts, like just compressed air shooting you. It's little gingerbread people shooting you. I'm like, clever, and like you got like Krampus hidden behind the tree, and like, oh my god, I know it's supposed to be a Swedish folktale because I learned it from American Dad. It was good. I'm like, I don't have to watch a movie. This was so good, well built, and I can tell like, yes, this is on the right track. I mean, yeah. I mean, do stuff like that. Stop doing Walking Dead. Did everything cut out?
No,
I'm still here.
Okay,
I'm here.
Sorry. Just everything got quiet. I'm like, oh, please.
I'm just like, I know. I'm trying to think of like how I feel about stuff, and it's like I don't know. I think like what you were saying earlier, that I think after a point they'll realize what they're doing and they'll not do it anymore. Because at least now there's like you were saying too, a lot of indie films are getting recognition now. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm interested to see how the internet affects everything with so many different services to make films on. Not just... It'll be interesting, like, in 20 years, what going to the movies will be like.
Because
I bet it will
be
like...
It's like that episode of Futurama. You're one of those nerdy guys. How does this iPhone work? Oh, dude, I have to install it. That is basically what's going to happen. That's basically what's going to happen.
Yep.
I don't own an Apple product anymore, so thank God. Well, guys, I'm going to thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was a very good topic, and it feels like this is something I needed to get out of the way. And of course, I'll do a top 5 video on the worst movies ever made once I have more free time, and I won't get copyrighted by other shit because fuck YouTube. I'm not even that famous yet. Yeah. If you all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to do it as well for Ryan here at Crimson Studios and Film Phreek. And Burning DM since he had to leave early. But I'm GoldRanger88. He's Ryan. He's Justin. We'll see you on the next podcast, guys. Bye-bye.
See you later.